about it, but yeah. Oh, we're recording. Cool. So, hi, Audrey. Hi, Matt. How goes? Good day.
Hi, I'm back in the office for the first time since March of 2020, so I'm a little discombobulated, but I don't have
Fair enough.
anything pressing. I'm getting some final touches on a couple of interviews, getting them ready to be published.
Awesome.
There was just one lingering question that if nothing else comes up, Matt and I had talked about, how does one go about editing the content of the email that the user receives along with their final document?
Okay.
But that's nothing urgent, just something he and I wondered about for a while.
Yeah.
And this is when you do the send button in HTML, right? Like when you use that.
Yes,
email
on the download
button that we
screen.
created.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think Matt might have had, we couldn't hear you, Matt. You are not muted, but we still can't hear you. Okay.
Yeah, sorry. I just had my headphones or microphone mute on by mistake. I was just saying hi and hope everyone had a good weekend.
Okay. Well, thank you. Okay. So I believe, and maybe I hallucinated this part, but I believe the email is, the contents are changed with a template. Is that correct, Quentin?
Yeah, that is correct.
So we can look up what template that is. If you give me a second.
And it is a template that's on a per bundle basis, so you can override it for just one bundle if you want.
So let's look in the AL document YAML.
You want to share your screen, Michelle? Or no?
Oh, sure. I mean, I'm just going to be looking through. This is not going to be very interesting, but sure. Everyone can be fascinated by GitHub. Let me hide meeting controls. So template. So x.send email template. So you've got a AL document bundle here. So you would use your AL document bundle and you'd go, AL user bundle dot send email template. And then, would you just make, I think, your own. I'm not sure how you access public subject and content separately to edit it, but I think you could make also your own block like this.
Yeah, you would need to replace both parts. So it's a whole template that you could copy in and customize to fit what you want.
And I'll put this link in the coding help channel so that it's accessible after this conversation. Editing the email contents sent with a bundle.
And then are these recordings being published on YouTube?
It will be, yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you.
I'm just going to link to this block so that copy and edit this block into copy this block into your code and edit it. There. That should get you what you're looking for.
Thank you.
I mean, there are ways to edit, I think, but I don't know enough about templates to for sure know how you can propagate that more effectively.
Okay.
Okay.
So, and will that automatically attach the one of the bundles?
It will get attached to a bundle. Yes.
Is that the user bundle? Sorry, I didn't look closely. Is it the user bundle?
It's
Not the-
any bundle. It's a generic object. It uses a generic object that is an AL document bundle. And so whatever bundle you use, that template will be attached to it. If you want, you can change it to, you can change that X to AL user bundle. And then that will supersede, right? That'll overwrite this. You can, instead of using a generic object. Here, I'll share again and we can talk about this with more specificity.
Okay. Yeah, 'cause I think what will also be helpful is the call that's invoking that template, because then that'll be the other piece of how to use that.
Sure.
Because I don't know if
Might be happening internally, but we can still try to find it.
I think so. Yeah, I don't think that's really designed to be customized without subclassing AL document. But we could add parameters if that's helpful.
So here, for example, you would change, you could get rid of this, delete line 22. What is in line 22, but in your own file. So you would delete the generic object line, and then you could change X to AL user bundle, or whatever your bundle name is. And then it could get specific per bundle. The module then asks for that later. It uses that in its email sending. And so it's like any variable, right? If you ask for users.name.first, DocAssemble goes and finds and defines that variable. That's the same for templates. If you had users dot affidavit, right, and you had a template for the affidavit, then it would populate it with the contents in here, right? So this is just, it's saying, I'm defining, this is where you can look for the definition of x.send email template. And our module looks for that definition. And so if you write a block that supersedes this, right, that takes precedent over it, like anything that's in your file or anything that's more specific than this block, then it will take precedent over our block or, other blocks that define the same thing. Ask me questions, because I'm not sure I'm completely describing this clearly.
That's okay. No, I understand how this template works and the generic object. I think that's fine for us to keep. We don't need to make changes. But it sounds like the send email function that's built into the button. So I guess my concern was if the format of the attachments is as is adequate for you, then we don't need to worry about changing any of the attachments with the template. When you can just focus here on the subject line and the body of the email, and that should work.
So one thing that I don't think is really emphasized is that you can have a bundle of bundles. So if you want to change the attachment that gets sent, you can just change what the contents of the bundle are to be itself a bundle where you combine them whatever way you prefer. I'm not sure what kind of changes to the attachments that you were thinking of, but for example, like if you wanted to not include a cover page, well, there's a different bundle for that. If you wanted to combine the addendum into one file with the results, or did not want to do that, that's another option that you could have. Just in general, there's like a lot of flexibility there.
And in a bit, if you're interested, we can talk about the table and how our conversation about the table, how that could, because that's the kind of great advantage of, one of the great advantages of AL document is that you can combine various documents in various ways more easily than if you were to try and homebrew it yourself. But that wouldn't work with the table setup that you and I discussed before until there's a change that I can talk about if we want, but in some of your code. Or in our code, possibly. What questions does that leave you with?
I don't know, Audrey, I don't know if you've been trying to plug this in and see if it works.
Do you want to try? Shall I stop sharing and we can?
Oh, this was just sort of a question that didn't need to be dealt with right now. I'm so close to publishing these that I don't know that I want to change anything in the code right now. Does that sound cowardly?
Sure. No, not at all. Not
Oh,
at all.
okay.
Though this one would be pretty easy to test. Like if it is a change that you want, it should be like really plug and play. And so if you want to try it, we can. But if you're overloaded with, kind of what's going on already, there's no need to add this on top of
Yeah,
it.
I'm also getting text messages from my daughter about a very sick grandchild, so I am distracted. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries.
But this is good to have as a resource. Once I get a couple of interviews published before the end of the month, I think that there'll be time before the grant runs out for me to go back and spruce things up, make them a little more complicated or pretty or whatever.
All right.
So at this
Crossing
point,
fingers.
I'm just trying to meet the grant requirements and get them up in by Tuesday, right, Matt?
Oh my gosh.
Well, no, do we have the end of the month?
Oh,
when
but
these should be published.
we were hoping for Tuesday, but
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, well, just because we set that meeting that we could maybe do it on that day, but if
Yeah.
they're not ready, that's fine.
Yeah,
But
no.
we could try this because I think I see what that code snippet is doing, what that template's doing. So I think we could play around with it, but we don't have to.
Okay.
I might be able to demo it on, if that's what we're focusing on today. Like if there isn't another thing to address today, then I might be able just to demo it on our like test interview that we have for it.
And Matt, do you have any questions? I didn't mean to jump in.
No, that's fine. No, I don't. I have work to do to generate some more questions, but I'm good. I have so many answers that I need to implement now.
Yeah.
I'm working on some of the edits that we discussed last week. So just trying to polish things up.
Sure.
So Michelle, if you wanted to demonstrate it, that would make the recording complete for
It would. That's true.
I need to look at it. Thank you.
Sure. So let me, in that case, share my screen again. Screen's so fascinating. I'm just actually pulling in the meeting controls. Why can't these screens be in different areas in space? Okay. So we'll pull this and we'll show the, or we'll wait. You can also just wait. Coding has taught me so much patience, and I have yet plenty to learn because, yeah, it's not my forte. Suppose some is better than none. So I think we've got documents in here. And for now, we will ignore some of these. Let's run through it once this way. A, B, no, C, D, no. No, the address is in Boston. Some court. God, no, I don't want to answer questions about children. Oh, questions about children can just go on forever. Now it's generating the document, the bundle. I wonder if we'll be able to see what the value is for the send email template. We might be. So let's see source, variables and values, send email. Have I got the right here? The right thing here? Send email template. Yeah, so it's not going to be in here. I can try and send it to myself and report back on.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think it will actually try to populate that until you send it.
We'll report back on what I get. When that loads.
Because if you refresh the sources, it might be there now. The variables.
Oh, do you think so?
Yeah, because it has to populate. I don't think it will only populate it when you actually click send, I think. To guess.
There we go. All forms to download for your records.
But it only gives you the
It does not
class
give you the
name.
content of it. Well, I'll tell you what my email says in
Oh,
that
this-
case. We'll resort back
Okay.
to which has to open. Is my connection okay? Because my internet seems
Yeah. Their connections.
Yeah.
unhappy. Okay. So it says your assembly line question test document from Suffolk Lit Lab is ready. Please find the document for CD attached. And CD, as we know, is me. So now I'm going to take this block here. I'm going to copy it. And I'm going to add it to my playground somewhere. I feel okay with it at the bottom, or maybe just above the attachment. I don't know. And I'm going to say, please find your own way home. Subject, the greatest subject of all. And just this is going to be enough to override what is in the AL document, because this comes after the AL document and everything that it has done. So now I'm going to go back one and go forward one, Because I think actually it should be, will this undefine it, Bryce, or should I go through you know what, I'll just go through the whole thing because like, why not?
Should undefine it because it's a lazy template, but
That's what we say. I don't wanna. A, B, C, D.
Templates get reevaluated every time.
Oh, that is so true. Oh, I forgot this. Some court. I wish I could show you the result, but I'm not going to show my email. So I wish there was some other more visible feedback.
Michelle, you sent it to a Gmail account, right?
Mhm.
You could pop out just that message and drag it to the screen if you want.
True. Did I send a message? I don't think I did. Well,
I thought so. I saw the toast message.
okay. How do I pop this out, my friend? How do I pop you out? There we go. And now I need to attach you to this tab. Tell me how. It does not. No, it doesn't want to be here, but I can share it separately with a new share. The greatest subject of all. Can you see that?
Yep.
I sent myself 2 messages, so that's good. But the greatest subject of all, please find your own way home. So that is, and I will just go back to the playground where I will just reshare what it is that we did with the code. And all we did is we pasted it in here and we gave it our own custom text. And because it is lower down in the code, that is in our script as opposed to a script that we included way at the top. This now has our contents because it's overridden the other one. If we instead put an include block down here and then included, you know, assembly line in all its glory, this would no longer work because assembly line would be after our code, and so it would take precedence. But since ours is the lowest one, and another way to do this is you can get rid of this here, and you can, if you want to do it for specific bundles, you can do user bundle, and you can do one for court bundle or whatever it is you want, you know. So those would be independent of each other. That is my demonstration. Ta-da, so exciting.
That's great. Thank you. I think that's
Thank
good.
you,
That
Michelle.
is
Thanks.
just how I was
There we
hoping it would
go.
work. So that's
Exactly.
good.
Perfect demonstration. And to the point of using AL document in the table. So when we were discussing your table and how we used the attachment block instead, because that was easier and faster when we were discussing it. But if you wanted to do it with recombining, you know, different bundles, different combinations of things, my recommendation would be to change the function that you're using. The function that you're using from one of our old functions is taking a document and it's getting its PDF and then the URL for that PDF. I would suggest instead passing it in the PDF, because you can get this AL bundles as PDFs, but you can't get them as documents currently. So you would then be able to use any PDF that you could, I believe, that you could create with AL document, the AL document class and the AL document bundle class. And you would use the function .as PDF, the method, sorry, .as PDF. And you would send that into your function. And then in that way, you could utilize the way that AL document can mix and match bundles.
Mhm.
Whether or not that made sense, I don't
Yeah, it did.
know my end of it. So
No, I think once I get a little farther along with it, I think you're right. It'll be much more flexible going forward if I use the AL document functionality instead of what we were doing. So I'm sure I will be back with questions about that.
yeah. And if we end up breaking out the buttons into their own methods, you might also be able to build your table that way more easily without having to pass in any PDFs anywhere. You would just, pass in those buttons to, instead of, pass in those buttons to the table directly. I think those functions work that way in there. So very cool. On the half hour, exactly. That's very pleasing. Round numbers. All right.
Yeah, I don't have anything else right now, and I have another meeting coming up, and I need to do lunch before then, so I may just go.
Definitely.
But
Works.
Yeah, it was nice
We're okay. to
hanging.
Yep, that was it for me too. Thank you.
Great.
All right.